Good morning. Well, this is the second part of our video showing why you might consider visiting Namibia. If you haven't seen the first part, there's a link at the top of the page and in the text below. We continued through Damaraland, or more gravel roads, past Brandberg, Namibia's highest mountain, and arrived at Grootberg Lodge. This is situated at the head of a massive valley, and you need four-wheel drive to get up the track. Once you're there, the view is sensational. The lodge isn't half bad either. This is another lodge where water is scarce and you're encouraged to use it sparingly. Some of the locals came to greet us. We went on a trek to find a rare black rhino. It was an all-day trip down into the valley below. After about an hour, we could look back and see our lodges on the top of the hill. This shot is taken through a telephoto lens. It was a bumpy ride for most of the time. We saw more wildlife as we travelled along. After about 3 hours, disaster struck. A puncture. Fortunately, it wasn't me this time who had to fix it. As we got closer to the area where the black rhino could be found, we picked up a couple of guides. They and their colleagues guard the rhinos from poachers. 4 hours after we left the lodge, we spotted the black rhino. They're solitary animals, so we didn't expect to see more than one. It was a real thrill to see this rare animal in the wild, even if we did have another 4 hours of bumping around to look forward to on the way back. Next day, we drove up to Etosha National Park. Before long, we were on tarmac roads again, so progress was quicker. We arrived at the gate and paid our fees to enter the park, and made our way up to Okaukuejo camp, passing some of the locals on the way. Etosha is dominated by a huge white salt pan which shimmers in the sun. Dotted around this are waterholes, and Okaukuejo is situated by the busiest waterhole. Our lodge was right in the front, a great position to watch the wildlife. We were here at the end of the dry season, so the animals had to come to waterholes to drink. We stayed at Etosha for 2 nights. On the second evening, we saw a total of 7 black rhinos, 6 more than we'd seen on our rhino trek 2 days earlier. These hornbills were amusing, pecking at their reflection in the car windows. We saw loads more wildlife driving around Etosha, herds of hundreds of zebra and antelopes, as well as these 2 lions, taking it easy in the shade of a tree. Reluctantly, we left Etosha and drove to our next lodge, which was in a private reserve next door to Etosha. Onguma Camp was another excellent lodge and very relaxing. It was here that we had our David Attenborough experience. Late in the day, the rain started, the first rain of the season. This set off a reaction amongst the termites, with millions of them hatching out and taking flight. We were engulfed by flying termites for about 2 hours, then it stopped. The next morning, we could hardly open our lodge door for termites. By this time, their wings had fallen off, and they were trying to burrow down into the earth. One of the staff came and collected most of the termites. He told us that he was looking forward to cooking and eating them. After 2 days in Onguma, we set off for our last lodge, Okonjima. We passed farmland with cattle and game grazing in the fields, very different to most of our journey. Okonjima is home to the Africat Foundation, known for its work in cheetah and leopard rehabilitation. Our lodge here was exceptional, with a panoramic view of the wildlife. A cheeky jackal came sauntering by. I expect that some people feed them. A number of leopards and cheetah have been released into the bush here, and they have 55,000 acres to roam around in. They wear collars so that they can be tracked. The drivers use a TV aerial to pick up the signals. We tracked a cheetah named June, as she was found as an orphan cub in the sand dunes near Swakopmund. She was very patient with us as we took our photos. The drivers then picked up a signal of a leopard. We eventually tracked him down. The driver warned us not to get out of the vehicle. He told us that a cheetah would run away if frightened, but a leopard would attack us. We all stayed in the truck. That was the end of our tracking, and nearly the end of our 2-week drive around Namibia. The following day we drove back to Windhoek Airport, dropped off the 4x4 and checked in for a flight to Johannesburg and on to London. If you have any questions, please add your comments below and I'll try to answer them. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to our channel.